What's up, everybody? What is up? What is up? Hey guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? Listen, forgive me for being a couple of minutes late. I'm just looking at my phone. I don't like the way this been this blinking. That gets on my nerves. But forgive me for being a couple of minutes late. I kind of stayed a little bit longer than normal um at work. Well, to be honest, I stayed a normal hour. But the thing is, hey Joshua, I said nothing below your way. We have daylight savings time, and I'll put this right here. Daylight savings time, and it gets darker earlier, and so we were just pushing. Joshua, thank you for supporting. I said nothing but love your way, guys. I can't wait to get into this show because what I'm finding out is that it is some mental illness is real, yeah. Mental illness is real. Mental illness is real. I'm going to keep saying it. Mental illness is real, and the society needs help. I think I'm going to take my time tonight. Yeah, throw your cash app in here if you are watching the replay. Thank you so much for doing the replay. Because you don't have to support, but you do, guys. If I seem a little bit slow, that's because I'm a little bit tired today. You know, working in childcare, sometimes it can drain you. You know, when for real teachers who get a all in all, get a best to their classroom. Sometimes you're mentally drained because just the laboring. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where I'm at. My body's starting to slow down, like woo, 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 you know. But I'm here for this conversation tonight. I am. We talking about strong delusions, people. And the Bible speaks about these strong delusions, but we're not going to go the biblical way today. I think I want to start out with toxicity and what that looks like and what that is before we go into delusions. Because toxicity is mingled into this thing, and mental illness is mingled into this thing. And sometimes when people are in their delusion, they don't know that they are in their delusion. And it's hard for everybody that's standing around them and that, you know, like their family and friends. It's hard to get them to understand that you are living a delusion. Okay. That was a video that I wanted to share. But I was so busy today, I didn't get a chance to download it so I could share it for tonight's show. I really wanted to share it for tonight's show. I really did. I'm gonna take my glasses off because I'm starting to get, I don't know if it's a tension headache or what it is, but I'm gonna take them off. I want to take my time. I just want to take my time to gather my thoughts tonight, y'all. Hey, Urban, wasn't you supposed to go live over an hour ago? I know I was supposed to be at 6. I don't know what I scheduled it for. What did I schedule it for? I thought I had scheduled it for 6. And don't come in here insulting me, Urban. Don't come in here with no mess. You understand what I'm saying? Don't come in here with no mess, Urban. I said nothing but love your way because you deserve it. I want to talk about delusions, but I also want to lay the foundation because a lot of times when people are living in these facades and these delusions, they think it's their reality. But it all stems from mental illness. Okay? You said, I'm just holding you accountable. Oh, shut your mouth. You hold everybody accountable but yourself. How about that? You hold everybody accountable but yourself, Urban. Thank you for supporting the channel, Urban. A lot of times people go through life. Let's go all the way back. A lot of times people go through life in their childhood and they experience trauma. And these traumas have long-term effects on these individuals. We all have gone through some type of trauma in our life. We all have gone through pain and suffering in our life. And remember, I told y'all that transformative people are people who turn pain into power, right? We all have issues in our life. A lot of us, most of us, are able to mature out of those, are able to mature out of the residual effects of trauma. Most of us are. But then there's a set percentage of people who cannot. That the trauma gives them long-term effects in their life, and it molds them into the individual that they are. They can't seem to let it go. They can't seem to let go of the negative effect that it has caused them in their life. And so they begin to adapt to living life within those parameters, within that realm of negativity, within that realm of effect that the trauma has caused. I hope that you all are following me tonight. You understand what I'm saying? And so in that's how they form their identity. And that's their presentation of themselves to others, to their family, to their friends. Oh, I'm like this because this is what happened to me. Oh, I'm like that because of what happened to me. And they always start, I've been through this, so you just have to excuse me because I'm like that. They are totally taking on the residual effect of trauma. And not understanding that how you are now is a byproduct of a traumatic event in your life. Excuse me. And so these individuals, they just go through life being the way that they are, being negative, being manipulative, being sensitive, being hurt, being extremely touchy. No, the room don't say nothing to her because it triggers her. Just leave her alone. She kind of, and so everybody start walking on eggshells around you. Hey, Scorp, I said nothing but love you, way because guess what? You deserve it. So everybody just started walking on eggshells because they just know how you are, and that's how you want it. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to let go of that type of behavior, and not understanding that is not even the real you. It's just an effect of what has happened to you in the course of your life. Okay. And so now you are living in some type of alternate reality, and people got to deal with you in a certain way because I got a chip on my shoulder, or I had trauma in my life, or I'm hurt, or this has happened to me, right? Okay, that's who you are, right? Now, people that's on the outside looking in at you is saying, "Man, this individual got issues," but we just gonna love on them. You know what I'm saying? This individual got issues, but it's okay. Everybody know we see, but we don't judge, right? Okay. Then you got the people around this individual that enables that bad behavior. Don't correct them because they know in their mind these people ain't gonna never change. So they don't correct them. They don't correct their bad judgment, their bad decision, their bad verbiage. The way they engage with them is negative. They always short and cussing you out. But we don't correct it. We just enable it because we know that's just how they are. Because that's just how, because they've had a hard life. They've always been like that. And so we just enable that behavior. Okay. So then, when these individuals become challenged, or someone in their life comes to challenge them, or life challenge them, they play this victim role. They play this victim role because nobody has ever challenged them. Nobody has ever told them no. People have always made exception for them because that's just who they are. Nobody has ever held them accountable for their actions. Nobody has held them accountable and say, no, you just need to be a better human being. You just need to be respectful of other people. You just need to be a productive member of society. Now, sometimes life will challenge these individuals to do better and to come out of that delusion and come and join us in the real world. But it's almost like the audacity of you doing that. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody challenged these individuals to do the right thing or be the right thing or be rational. You know what I'm saying? When you living in a delusion, you are an irrational, I hope I'm saying that right, individual. And all of this is stemming from mental illness. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you're going to always call wrong right and right wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Your productivity, all right? Come on. Come on. Come on. You understand what I'm saying? These type of individuals, and you may have one in your family, you may have seen them in your community. You understand what I'm saying? They just move to to their own beat, and they expect people to accommodate them however they move. You understand what I'm saying? It's called reprobate mind. Come on, Squirt. Strong, the Bible calls it strong delusions. You in your own little world, and you think that people got to come into your world and live by the elements and live by the rules and the regulations of your world. But your world is a false reality, and that's just not how the world goes. You understand what I'm saying? It's weird to me. It's odd to me. And the reason why I'm talking about this because I saw something. And there was a psychology video talking about delusions. And I'm like, there's a lot of functioning people who are living in delusions right now. You look at them and they look normal, they talk normal, but their behavior is a little bit skewed sometimes. And anytime anything challenged them, they immediately go into this weird, awkward victim mode. Like somebody done did something to them, and ain't nobody did nothing to them. And they play this victim role because something in life or someone or something or some circumstance has challenged them to behave like a normal human being and rationalize or be accountable, like Urban said. And then they get weird. And then they start changing stuff around so that they are the victim. These people, these individuals are living in a strong delusion. And it's a sad commentary. You're going to find that these individuals are never wrong. They're going to always want to be right. They're going to always misconstrue reality. Something transpired, they're going to turn it around to where they're right and the individual is wrong. Even if you are not protesting, you still going to be wrong. You said, Scorpio, I'm just focused and busy. Amen. I know that's right, Urban. I know that's right. Strong delusion. I have dealt with individuals like that. It's like, and you sit back like, what is wrong with you? Can't you see that that's not rational? Or you try your best to articulate exactly what you mean so they can totally understand. And it's still like, I ain't trying to hear it. You don't want to hear rationality at all. What you want to hear is conflict. What you want to hear is how, whatever it is, you got to come out on top all the time. You got to come out right all of the time. Because that is what your world dictates for you. You can never stand to be wrong. Am I making sense, Scorpio? Am I making sense? Am I making sense? And I'm trying to figure out, like, a couple of instances with various individuals. You know, there'll be situations and I'll say, I'm a jokester, and I'll say something, and they totally interpreted the wrong way. And I was saying to myself, how in the world did you get that from this? How? On a couple of occasions. And I'm like, how did that happen? Because these individuals are looking for moments to where they can be the victim. They are looking for instances where they can, where you can be wrong and they can be right. whether it's relevant, whether it's within context, whatever it is, because they live and also what I've noticed about these individuals is that they need affirmation constantly. They need validation constantly because something just ain't right in their world, and they rather live in this delusion than live in their true, sad, tragic reality. So that's why you got a lot of people say that there's something that they're not. That's why you got a lot of people who create a whole alternate reality because that's where they want to live. Am I talking, Squirt? That's where they want to live. They want to be right there. Because if they had to peel away the scales and live in their own reality, they would jump over a bridge somewhere. Am I telling the truth? How you doing, Gertrude? I said nothing but love your way because you deserve it. Am I telling the truth today? Delusion. You have lived decades in a strong delusion because that's where you feel validated and safe at. You can't live in the parameters of the real world because in the parameters of the real world, you ain't the superhero that you want to be. You understand? You said, I learned to give people a choice. I share my opinion. It may be beneficial for them or not. I do the same thing as God. You say God, you trying to say God? Free will. You understand what I'm saying? But you know what, Urban, and that's true. That's a matter of fact. But sometimes, and I have seen this for my own eyes due to us. I got you, Urban. I have seen this. And I'm gonna drop the link if anybody. You don't have to come up, but I always forget to do this. But I'm gonna drop the link if anybody want to add their own 2 cents. And I want to hurry up before I lose my thought. I have seen this quite often with people, family members, where you sit there for a very long time and you pour in your rationale because they didn't ask you your opinion, and you have poured in the best advice that you can give them that is sound, that makes sense, not even from your own ideology, but what makes sense for them. And it literally bounces off them like a wall and they do not receive it. And you would sit there for hours and be like, no, this is what you need to do. This ain't right for you. Don't do that. And you thinking, what's wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people? People want the ending and the reality that works out for them, that makes them on top. Sometimes in life, you got to go through a humbling moment. Sometimes in life, you got to go through a moment of accountability. Sometimes in life, you got to take the L and say, you know what? Hey, I was wrong. But people who are living in a delusion, they think everybody else is wrong and they right. People can create I was talking to someone that was having some issues with their family, with their they have children, they have some issues with the baby mama and the stuff that he was saying. I'm like, these people is a lot of mentally ill people running around here. And you think they okay, but they not. They living and they are thriving in their own delusion. They're thriving in their own world that they've created that nobody else can't live in. You just trying to talk as calm and as rational as possible, and they thinking that it's against them, so they want to create a conflict. And you thinking, wait a minute, where are you going with this? Because that was not my intention. But guess what? They're not even listening to your rationale. They're not even listening to your rationale because it does not align with the parameters and the foundation that they've laid in their own crazy world. And that's a sad commentary. That's why you got a lot of people who walk away from family members. Like, yo, I can't even deal with it because they done tried. They done tried to reason with you. And it's like no dealing with you because you done already made up your mind how you going to be and what you're going to be because that's just you. And that's a sad commentary. That's just like somebody say, hey, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. That's not what I meant. And then they still go on telling you what you meant because they thinking they meant, oh, she didn't mean that. Like, that's weird to me. That's weird to me. That's weird to me. Toxicity. You toxic and don't know it. You wonder why people flying and running and swimming and running and swimming and walking and flying away from you because something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. You understand? It's frustrating, especially with family members who got individuals that have mental illness. It's frustrating when you trying to reason with them and you trying to help them and they don't want the help. It's like somebody sitting on fire. You trying to throw water on them and they don't want it because they think the fire is their friend. Do you hear what I say? Strong delusions. You living in a made-up world with made-up rules. And if nobody adheres to your made-up rules or treat you the way that you want to be treated, then something is wrong with them and they done did something to you and you sit over there waiting on somebody to appease you. That's never going to happen. You understand what I'm saying? This year, this is what I've learned. And I'm all about ministry. I really am. And I'm all about ministering to these type of individuals. I really am. And I have. But as I get older, what I've learned is I have to protect my peace. And my thing is, if you want to be somewhere in Krypton thinking that you Superman, then you go over there and be the Superman. But what you're not going to do is frustrate me when I'm trying to give you logical thinking and sound doctrine and sound advice. You're not going to drain me and then come back and attack me. Oh, no, that ain't going to happen. Because you living in a strong delusion. Off topic, queen. Somebody told me you look better within the last month. You know who did that? My husband. He told me you are looking so attractive. He's like, and I know the man is looking. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I've gained 8 pounds. I feel like I can feel it, but you know, I'm trying to. I don't know. What can you do? Eat better. Do better. I'm forcing myself to do that. I'm trying really hard. I really am because I want to be healthy. So thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that, Scorpio Mama. And it's a sad commentary because you sit back and you love these individuals and you just look at them and it's sad because my thing is like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Wow. I will say this. When you have done all that you can for these individuals, you know what I'm saying? It is okay to distance yourself and walk away. You understand what I'm saying? Even if it's a family member, I know you're going to be there for family, you know what I'm saying? But it's okay to put some distance there to protect your own peace. Because what I'm finding, God is going to have to help them because it's like no matter what you say or no matter what you do, they are not believing reality. You're not going to be able to ever get in through to them. You understand what I'm saying? Because they have made up this whole world in their mind. And as long as you playing a character in their world, then you're fine. But when you begin to challenge, and I keep going back to that word challenge. When you begin to challenge their reality or challenge their ideology or challenge or kind of go into their world with rationality, they don't want that because then that means they got to step out of their own world to see or to think rational, to think rational. And they just don't want to do that. They want to keep it just the way it is. Because that's a safe place for them. That's where they thrive. But when people start making sense, oh, it's an issue. You understand? And after you have gone over cycle with these people, it drains you. It's like, I'm not going to think for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to play the role for you no more. You understand? Do that make sense? And you may love them. You can love them from a distance. You can be resourceful for these people for existence. But see, it's so not healthy. And sometimes it can suck you in. And a lot of times people know that you're accessible to them. They will use you until you can't be used no more. Then they'll turn around and throw you in the trash. You understand what I'm saying? And as soon as you don't start playing by their rules or say, yeah, that's good. You know how sometimes you just be trying to, what do you call that? Patronize people, Then you the villain in their story. It's just like someone, and again, I say this, all of this comes from some type of trauma, some type of hurt, some type of bitterness that these people have sustained. You know what I'm saying? And they have created this world and this barrier to keep them safe mentally. And it's okay for them to be like that. So they make excuses for them being messy. They make excuses for them being manipulative. They make excuses for them twisting the truth. They make excuses for them not being a productive member in society. They make excuses why they can't hold a job. They make excuses why they are the way they are. They make excuses because they're short or rude. They make excuses for their life because, oh, look what I have been through. It's a lot of people who's been through way worse and they're thriving. They're able to rationale. They're able to compromise. They're able to have social cues. You understand what I'm saying? They're able to be in reality and take the blunts of the world and take the oppressions of the world. But a lot of people can't take oppression. That's why you see a lot of prisoners who get out of a prison and they can't take it. Somebody was telling me this. I'm trying to figure out who was telling me this. Somebody was telling me how a prisoner had did years in prison and he had came out and he knew he couldn't take the pressures of the world. You know, being on the grind, working, having that rigorous schedule of paying bills and stuff like that. He said, I have to commit a crime so I can go back to jail. He said, but I'm gonna commit a crime. I think my pastor was talking about this in Bible class. He said, I'm gonna commit a crime where I know I'll be in jail for the rest of my life. And so he killed somebody. You said I had to be mom and pop, grandma and grandpa. Yeah. You wear all of these hats, Scorp, and sometimes it can be exhausting. So he did that just so he can go back to what he was used to and accustomed to. Someone telling and thinking for him and having everything prepared for him. He don't got to pay no rent. He can have food. You understand what I'm saying? And he was used to that demographic. He was used to that environment. Even though his freedom was gone, he felt like he was thriving there. And so you got a lot of people that are imprisoned in their mind. And they want all of us to come up and pull a chair and be in a jail cell with them. That's why you see people always regurgitating the same hurt. They want to talk about the same hurt over and over. They want to hurt themselves over and over and over again. They want to tell you about their hurt over and over again because they want you to realize their pain and be sympathetic of them. And this is not me being cold and cruel, because I understand that, you know, some pain takes a while to heal and everybody is not the same. I get that. Hi, Urban. How you doing? I said nothing but love your way. Welcome to the show. Why?
So,
I mean,
I'm trying to figure something out. That's what I'm trying to do.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Have y'all been hearing me the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just realized that my laptop was on mute. Why are you shaking your head? I ain't saying nothing wrong.
Anyway, I'm trying to figure something out, though.
Okay.
First of all, I'm trying to figure out why in the hell you don't got your glasses on, why you got all this makeup on, why you trying to hide in the dark.
I'm not in the dark. I'm actually in my bedroom. I'm not in my living room because it's really cold here in Michigan and I left my windows open. So I came in my room where it's a little bit warmer and I took my glasses off because it's affecting. I had like a little tension headache. So I took my glasses off. Is it a problem? Would you like me to put my glasses back on?
Hell yeah, it's a problem. I'm going to snitch on you. I'm telling your husband.
Tell my husband, because he also been sending me texts telling my son, you have been looking a lot of attractive these days and I know men are watching. That's what he's texting me.
So they give you permission to look like this in front of other men, huh?
I wear makeup every day. Y'all just don't see it because it's been done worn off. But this is new makeup, so it doesn't stay.
What he see in you, that is only for his eyes only.
So I shouldn't wear makeup. I should look nice at work.
Nah, you should look normal.
I am looking normal. This is me. I've been wearing makeup. I wear makeup all the time.
Nah, you looking above normal. That's unacceptable. You only look above normal for your husband.
You are out your man, and you done came up here to be messy. That's what you done did.
No, for real. Queen, I told you, Queen, I advocate. Queen, I advocate for men. I advocate for men, and you literally sit up here doing my boy role. Sit up here trying to run.
Did you see the video that I put on social media? On my the short, I told him I'm about to take that down because he was doing too much. Got that fresh haircut. He was doing way too much. I'm like, bro, I'm about to take this down. You talking about your husband is fine. I'm like, shut up. I said, I wish I could put a scar on your face. She started laughing.
Y'all wow.
I advocate for women too, Scorpio, because last month was Women's Month. Women's Mental Health Month, and nobody said absolutely not one word.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's interesting, ain't it?
It is.
Hmm.
I talk about women's wellness all the time. So.
No. I'm glad that you pointed that out
Mm-hmm.
because that's how the way it is. Like we got all these content creators, right? And there was
Mm-hmm.
only a very few of them that talked about women's mental health, right?
Yep.
Or even did shows or anything about it, right?
Yep. That's
Now you
true.
see how now you see how I felt when I was doing that on mental health for men, because it was the same exact way. It wasn't a whole lot of men talking about men's mental health until who start talking about it? Me. The ones I
Well,
start talking about it, everybody start talking about it,
again, I want to
regardless
tell
if
you,
they
I've
agree
done
with
a
it or not.
show for mental health for men. I have. I support y'all.
I support y'all as well too.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't feel the support. You
But
done came up here and attacked
I
me.
didn't support the women's mental health. I didn't support that last month because I had other stuff going on last month. To be honest with
Mm-hmm.
you, I ain't gonna
Okay.
lie. I'm not gonna even cap on it, man, at all. I ain't gonna cap
Okay.
on it. But now, so start by getting you off topic. Let's get back to the conversation. My bad, because
From
I had to come up
delusions,
here.
I feel like
Hey,
I'm taking the scalpel, and I just want to cut the layers. I want to take my time and dig into this topic because it's crazy.
yeah,
You got go
but
ahead.
yeah, go ahead. I'm
No, I
listening
just
to
say
you.
you got a lot of
Cause you,
people who play the victim because we will not live in their world. You understand what I'm saying? And they try to
mm-hmm,
make you feel bad because they may have some type of delay, or they may have had something done to them, or life has just done them wrong, or they haven't took the initiative to have a better life. And I'm not being cold. I want people to think that I'm being cold because I have to work every day to maintain my husband. You know what I'm saying? We work together as a team, but you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna make me feel bad because of your circumstances because you've been in it too long. You've been in this thing, this cycle too long. You know what I'm saying? So, but you want everybody to play ball with you.
mm-hmm, yeah. So why is that so though? I mean, why do people be in that space to try to pull you down with them?
A couple of reasons I feel. I don't know if it's necessarily correct, but I feel like they are envious of other people's lives that are. Why are you so happy? You know that mentality. Why are you so happy? Why do you think that you are this? This is their perception, not that it's true. And then they just want a better life and don't know how to achieve it. They want to pull
Yeah,
you into they want to pull you into their world because they want you to experience the hurt that they're experiencing. You know what I'm saying? As if it's some type of punishment. That's why yeah. Like Score said, misery loves company. That's why you got people who've been diagnosed with AIDS. They go out and give it to other people because they want people to have this tragedy that they've experienced. That is, somehow it's going to make them feel better. Or you
mm-hmm,
got individuals who always say, "You don't know my story, you don't know," and then they do this rundown of what they've experienced as if you don't have trauma and stories in your life too, you
mm-hmm.
know. And so it's weird, because then I go into ministry more and say, "Hey, you know what? You can get out of this because I've been through this too, and this is how you can do it." And I'm gonna tell. And sometimes the Lord will minister, and I'll say, "This is what the Lord is." They don't want to receive it because they don't want to come out of that reality, their reality,
Yeah, gotcha.
you know.
I mean, do you think it's deeper than the surface level that you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like how though?
I think that it's a mental illness, something has broken within their comprehension, their cognitive ability, and to be honest, some of this is spiritual. And I know a lot of people may not identify with it because they just they're not acclimated to the faith or whatever. But some of this thing is torment and toil, and some of this is the spirit of suggestion. So you're gonna always be like this. You're gonna be just like your mama, and you're gonna be like this. You know what I'm saying? And they're susceptible to this type of thing. I mean, the enemy ministers to people too as well. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Gotcha.
that spirit of intrusive thought. That's bombarding your mind, depression, low self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? And just sadness and loneliness that brings people. into this reality. Have you ever seen some people, you know, that they depressed and they sad, but they act like the happiest people in the world? Because they just won't accept their reality and they won't deal with the major issues in their life.
Yeah, they call that being optimistic. So, well, what's funny about that is that I had put out a short about a young lady who was talking about that. In her short she was talking about the difference between pessimistic and optimistic, right? And so my response on that is that I don't believe in myself to be, to be pessimistic or optimistic. You know what I'm saying? I believe that I'm an opportunist. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why is because I have learned that it's okay to, to be optimistic, you know what I'm saying, to have faith and hope that things is going to get to the way that I want it to be at, right? But I learned at the end of the day, hope is not enough. It's about my actions. It's about what I need to do to make it happen. Therefore, I call myself an opportunist. Now, when people hear the word opportunist, they hear it in a negative way. Everything has a positive and negative for life, no matter what it is, you know what I'm saying, depending on how the way it's being used, you know what I mean? So in my particular stance on it, I'm using it in a way where it would better myself as a man, you know what I'm saying? Hence being an opportunist. So everything I do in my life now, I have learned to take what's called calculated risk, you know what I'm saying? I go ahead and put myself out there. If it works, great. If it don't work and I fail at it, that's great too, because that gives me an opportunity to learn the errors of my way and keep moving forward. But this goes back to what you're saying about the depression part. You know, sometimes people, they don't learn the error of their ways. They get stuck at the one failure, right? And they get drawn into their depression. You know what I'm saying? And so it'd be hard for them to overcome that, which they end up being pessimistic.
And so, which is frustrating to me. Let me tell you why it's frustrating, because I walk with God, and this is where my spirituality kicks in, because I've had those moments where I've had big blunders and I've had big failures in life, and I've had setbacks in life, and I've made wrong decisions, which has caused blunders in my life or stagnation in my life. But I always knew that if I corrected those things, that God would help me along the way and things would get better. I literally have talked to people where they just did not understand that life can get better, that God will make a better way for them, and that it is not God's will for you to be depressed and sad and always angry and always, but they just didn't want to hear it at all, because they will say, you don't know my struggle, or you don't know my pain, or you don't understand. And this, I'm like, I do understand. I'm trying to tell you that I do understand. But it's like, you don't want to hear positivity. You don't want to hear what you don't, or see what life looks like without this pain and without this trauma, because it brings attention to you, because people feel sorry for you, and you get that negative attention, and you want someone to lull you and coddle you, and you want someone to always be around and sympathetic to you, because you just feel sorry for yourself. You understand what I'm saying? And so I don't understand that. You know?
Hey, keep talking on. I got to step away, but I'm listening to you, okay?
Okay, no problem. And so that bothers me and that frustrates me. You know what I'm saying? Because I just don't get that. You know, you don't want to be better. You don't want to be better. You just don't want to be better. You want to sing that same song year in and year out, and you just don't want to be better. And I'm just trying to figure out why. You know what I'm saying? Why? It's like you don't want to survive. You just want to exist in that same bubble, that same delusion, that same world. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come out of that, because God has so much more for you and has so much greater for you. I just honestly don't understand that. And then also off topic, Urban, you didn't wish Scorp happy birthday. You need to wish her happy birthday. But anywho, I just don't get these individuals. But I've been seeing it consistently over the years, how people are willing to escape into this negative world so that they can think that they're okay, but you're not okay. You living in and you willing to live like that for the remainder of your life, for the rest of your life. You're not okay. You want to live in a world where you don't have to have accountability. First of all, why does your life look like this? These are hard questions that people who live in delusions, they don't want to hear these type of questions. Why does your life look like this? Why is it that you're always in these situations? Why is it that you're not taking care of yourself? Mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, whatever it is. Why is that? Why won't you go seek help? These are questions that individuals, if you start talking about going to therapy and stuff like that, they get standoffish. You don't know my struggle. You know, all this crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Why is it that your life is still looking like this after 5 years? Why? Or I'm just throwing a number out there. Why don't you want to get help to be better mentally? Why is it okay for you to offend others and not be, or why, no, or better yet, why is it that you don't want to be accountable for anything? Why can't you give me an answer for your actions? Why won't you communicate to me how you are feeling? These are like trigger questions that trigger individuals who live in strong delusions. They don't for no other way. They don't want you to break that matrix for them. They don't want you breaking their world, because then they have to be accountable for that. Then they have to look life in the eye and they have to say, oh my God, it hits them in their chest. And that's why you have a lot of individuals who everybody else is wrong but them. You know what I'm saying? And it's frustrating. And after a while, you just get tired. It's like, okay, I can't even go no further with this. They start not making sense at all. Any glimpse of rationality, they get triggered and they create a whole situation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you know, those moments where the families go when they do interventions for people who suffer with addiction. They start spinning out of control in those meetings. You know what I'm saying? Or they start giving tons of excuses why they are the way that they are. When we're not talking about why you are the way you are, we're trying to get you help. But they don't want to see that. They don't want to see the possibility of them not living without their pacifier, right? It's just like a toddler who's hooked to a pacifier. They go berserk when you take it because it is what calms them. It soothes them and it keeps all the emotions in check. And they don't have to think of nothing but that sucking sensation. I see it all the time. You understand what I'm saying?
So first of all, happy birthday, Scorpio. Happy birthday. Second of all, now listen to everything you were saying, right? Now, I understand the whole notion that when we care about someone, we feel that it's our duty to help them. Okay. Now, even though we feel that sense of entitlement, I have learned throughout life that at the end of the day, it is up to them to make the choice to whether or not they want to be helped, well, if they want to be held accountable or not. You know what I'm saying? That you could tell by the actions of their behavior, like I was saying earlier. You know what I'm saying? Action speaks louder than words. You know what I mean? So if their actions is displaying to you that even though you're giving them this advice, even though you're giving them this type of intervention, right? If they're not reacting to it into a way where they're literally trying to change themselves and you can see the manifestation of it and you can see the evidence of it, then guess what? That is not your fault. Right. Second of all stuff, at that point, it no longer becomes your responsibility to keep reiterating that to them, because what you're going to do is that it's going to pull you into, like you said earlier, to their world, into their immediate reality, because you thinking that at this point, you're thinking that you're a failure. You're thinking that you're a failure because you're failing them, but in reality, you're not failing them. They're failing themselves. Mm-hmm. So it's instead of just doing all that, I had learned. Once again, like I said in the chat, I had learned to give people the same choice and opportunity that God gives us all the time. Mm-hmm. It is, believe me, due to my pride, right? Due to my pride, due to how the way I am, especially as a man, right? That is a very difficult thing to do for me. The
Mm-hmm.
only reason why is because at the end of the day, I like I told you, I'm a opportunist. You know what I'm saying? I always like to be in control of my destiny. So wherever is going on, I do my best to be in control of what I can be in control of. But the moment when I'm not in control of that, then in the past it made me feel some type of way. But
Mm-hmm.
now in this present version of me, I no longer feel that way at all, period, because I had learned and understand that we got to give people the ability to choose, period. You're
Exactly.
given that choice, just like God give us that choice to choose. And if they choose the latter, then that is not up to you to further judge that. It's for you to let them go through wherever it is that you go through, even if it hurts them, even if it hurts you, that is hurting them.
Exactly. And you gotta, and those are tough decisions. And it's like, am I strong enough to break away? Absolutely. I'm telling you, you are hitting the nail on the head. You have to give individuals a choice. Do you either want, and you get, it's like you, when you get to that fork in the road, it's decision time. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, you done already made up in your mind, I cannot go no further with you. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna feel bad from walking away, because you can only do so much for an individual. It's they have to do the groundwork and they have to do heavy lifting for themselves, because at the end of the day, it's only going to benefit them. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people don't want to. They want you to hold their hand through life the whole way. They want to be codependent on you and your decisions. They are allowing you to make decisions for them because they don't want to make the hard decisions. And so it's like, oh no, we can't do this. I need you to be mature. I need you to grow up. Even with friendships and relationships and stuff like that, it sucks to be the only one doing all the emotional and cognitive heavy lifting in a relationship. They
Mm-hmm.
just literally leeching on you and allowing you to make the decisions. You know what I'm saying? Or setting the tone for how y'all engage. That's stress. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
need you to carry your own weight. And sometimes in family members, when you have family members like this that are living in alternate realities or have some type of delay or something like that, it's hard to just say, you know what, I gotta bounce. But you do it for the sake of your own self and your own sanity and your own freedom. You know what I'm saying? And this year alone, I have let some heavyweight go. I had to. And it was like, when I did that, I literally felt like I was taking a gasp of fresh air. And I didn't even realize that certain ties and certain weight I was carrying was affecting other parts of my life. I didn't even realize it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That thing of, I gotta constantly be accessible to you because you going through hard times in your life for 10 years, but I gotta always be accessible to you because this is what you need. That's stress.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
stress.
so me and you, we have a slight advantage over, the average people. All right. The slight advantage that we have is that we being in the social work field. And due to us being in social work, right, we had learned certain skills to help people to get them to where they need to go. But also we have seen a lot within that field too. We've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly as well too. So um, we could tell professionally if a person is really, really want to get help and a person really want to hold themselves accountable and move forward versus the average person. You know what I mean? So without that being said, I would argue to say that the remainder of the average people who are not in the field, like how we being there, right, they're not going to have them certain type of skills to try to help whoever person to move forward. What they're
Right.
going to do, they're going to want to do what we were saying earlier, which is that they're going to try to push and push and push harder. They're going to try to pray for them. They're going to have a more optimistic attitude behind it. They're going to have faith behind it. They're going to
Yeah.
literally sell their soul for this
Yeah.
person and then exhaust themselves and be stressed out. And that's why, at the end of the day, they are part of their world now. You know what I mean?
They're
And
playing a
that's what they did with. Yeah, exactly. That's what they dealing with right now. They're now in that world. They're trying to figure out, man, why the hell am I depressed now? This is not even my problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, why I'm mad? Why I'm depressed? Why I'm not getting the
right.
results that I'm seeking? It's because now they got pulled into this person's world simply
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't have the skills to know how to deal with that.
Mm-hmm. And you feeling bad because they done got mad at you because you won't behave like they want you to behave, or you won't,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
yeah, like
Or
the whole
you're in a
time,
conforming to it. Or you're in a conforming to it. Like, we talk about things on social media all the time about narcissism and all the stuff there, right? Mental behaviors, right? If you don't have that skills to know a person who has a mental disorder, you be thinking it's normal. And so
Right.
when they gaslight you and do all these different things, right? You think it's just a normal thing and you get pulled into that. And next thing you know, you messed up. They done
You
manipulated
messed up
you
and
and
you
did some
thinking, was
crazy
I
stuff.
wrong? Like, did I do something?
Yeah,
And
you
you
question it,
question
yeah.
yourself. And that's
Exactly.
crazy because you know who you are. You know what I'm saying? You know the morals and the values that you stand on, but they make you and you have said something so profound, Urban. They make you question yourself. Like, did I do
Yeah.
something? Did I say something wrong? And they
And they
so
make you
good at it.
and they make you question your reality too.
Come on. But I had to
Of
shake
course.
that thing off like, no, I'm not going. It's you. It ain't me. It's you. You understand what I'm saying? But they
Mm-hmm.
do that. You got a lot of mothers right now that they making themselves sick and they done shaved off 10 years because they've been toiling with that son that just won't act right. They keep on crashing out at their house. They keep on getting arrested. They keep on breaking up the windows and people chasing them to the house. Toil and they're shedding life years off their life because they're so stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
And then people take advantage and they take advantage of that because they know, oh, she'll take me in. She'll talk me through it. She'll pick up the phone. She'll do it. Until they get good and they feel good about themselves and then they trash you. And then the cycle goes over and over and over again. And then they don't see the years that you toiled with them. They only see the moment in their present reality. In the moment that you can't toil with them, you trash. You was
Mm-hmm.
always the bad one. You was always the enemy. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
and it's like, dude, you are in a strong delusion. Like for
Mm-hmm.
real.
Facts. I agree. And once again, you get pulled into that reality where you start questioning yourself. You start questioning, like, damn, is it really me? Am I really the fucked up one in this situation? Is it me? But in reality, it's not necessarily you. I'm gonna throw a curveball in this conversation too. It could be a possibility that it may be you as well
Mm-hmm.
too. You know what I'm saying? You could play a part or a role in that. Now this goes back to the what when I was saying earlier about being, having an egotistical attitude and stuff, right? Through
Mm-hmm.
that ego, you may have developed some type of disorder too, and your disorder is contributing to that. So
Right.
now you are also the benefactor of what you're dealing with right now. You know what I mean? So if
Mm-hmm.
if I like say for example, if I have this egotistical attitude where it leads into narcissism, right? It may
Mm-hmm.
be like a beta level narcissism where it's like more dominant in me, then all of a sudden I know get it with this person, and by me being with this person, it does all of a sudden it does released it. Then
Mm-hmm.
guess what? Not only that person does a problem, but I'm the problem too.
Absolutely.
I'm the problem too. So
Mm-hmm.
hence that's the reason why a lot of people be in these what we call toxic relationships. Now
Mm-hmm.
toxic relationship and ain't just with man and woman. It could be with anybody. It could be with parents,
Mm-hmm.
children,
Yep.
jobs, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
You just can't get away. And now you addicted to that this toxicity. There's people who are addicted to the toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to live their life no other kind of way. You understand what I'm saying? They don't feel good until they done got into a fight or they arguing with they love they boo or they man. You understand what I'm saying? They don't feel because it's normal behavior and people generally feel comfortable with habits, whether it's good or bad. They feel comfortable with it. You understand what I'm saying? And it takes a really strong individual to break a habit that they are
Yeah.
accustomed to, that brings comfort to them. Comfort. And it may not be, a good thing or a bad thing, but they just comfortable with it and it brings familiarity, to them. So they keep doing it over and over and they can relate to it over and over and over again. They don't know how to live life any other way. And it could be
Mm-hmm.
tragic. It could be horrible, but that's all they know. Again, I go back to that guy who keep going back to prison. That's all they know. It's not a good thing for them, but that's all that they know, and they feel comfortable because they know the rules of the game. So that's their reality, and
Yep.
it's a sad
Uh,
commentary.
yeah, and also with that situation, that person wanted to feel alive. Once again, that person wanted to feel alive, and that's very important. The reason why is because when we're talking about day and that immediate reality, right? Let's say in a situation he were to be rehabilitated, right? That person was be rehabilitated, like you stated earlier, got rehabilitated. They let him out on parole, right? And through his rehabilitation period, he was just doing it because it was something that he trying to do so he could get out of that place. But in reality, in his mind, he wasn't rehabilitated in his mind. He was doing it just to participate. He was still there. And so when he got released into so when he got released into society, right, his mind was still had that mentality, but physically he's there. And so that's why I was saying that now he wanted to feel something because he feel like that he's not who he is now. He done lost his reality. He done lost his identity now. So the only way he could feel some type of way is reverting back to how the way he originally was.
They go back. You are absolutely right, Urban. They go back to that behavior. They go back to that behavior because it makes them feel good, and that's all they know, and they have mastered that behavior. But the thing is, it's toxic, it's harmful. And you got a lot of people that are living life like that, and they can't see themselves on a different plane. They can't see themselves in a better way. Say, oh, I can't do that. I can't do it. That's why you got people who just they live this cycle of I'm gonna be in the hood. I'm gonna always be in the hood. I don't want to get no education. Oh, college ain't for everybody. I can't do that. I can't learn them concepts. You got old people that have never understood how to navigate computer or technology, that will make their life better, but they just don't want to do it because they don't want to use that muscle in their brain to think further than, oh, I'm gonna let my granddaughter do it, or I'm gonna let my grandson do it. They don't want to think for themselves. I can't be that individual.
So also we could tie in the stuff that we talk about. You're advocate for women, right? And I'm advocate for men. Even in them two concepts, right? We be dealing with people who they be so stuck into their reality. When you show them something different or unique, guess what? They immediately get you pushback on it because that's their immediate reality. That's what they grew up on. They grew up being programmed this way. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's safe to throw this in the conversation that change is very, very difficult. It is not easy to change. It's not easy to reset yourself and start all the way over because it takes a lot of work. You're literally give away who you currently is to become something totally new. You know what I mean? That's what you're literally doing.
Fearful, especially for older people who have lived a decade. You know what I'm saying? One way. Change is fearful, and you will get pushed back because they don't understand the dynamic. They don't understand the concept. So what they do, they'll start second guessing it. They'll start judging it. They'll start producing evidentiary evidence of why it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? They'll pull out the scriptures on you. You understand what I'm saying? To try to justify this new thing, this new change, because they don't want to adapt to it, because they don't know that if they can, because they don't understand it, and they don't want to take the time to understand a new concept or a new thing or a new way. They just don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, especially in my relationship with my husband, it was totally not the norm. You know what I'm saying? For people around me, my family, my friend, and it took some getting used to, and it took me explaining over and over again, which a lot of people say, you don't got to explain. Yeah, but I do. Because a lot of times people don't really pay attention until you say it over and over to a repetition. You know what I'm saying? And then they have to see it for themselves. And then when they get comfortable and acclimated to the ideal, then it's okay now. Because now they have seen, and there has been a history, and now they have seen stuff that they can measure things against. But people are human. People, they are like that. But anything new that disrupt the schedule or disrupt how life is supposed to look, you gonna get some pushback. Oh, I don't know, it's gonna be suspicious, something ain't right, something gotta be wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, this is just where I'm at. And it's so intriguing, and it's so interesting, and it's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm learning, and I'm growing, and I'm transforming. This is new. I love change. I embrace change. I love to gain knowledge because it expands who you are. But a lot of people, they don't understand that.
So I got to just give you just a little bit pushback on your last statement. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I promise I'm not gonna be mean to you, all right? I promise.
Please.
Now when you was talking earlier about your relationship dynamics, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was listening to that, right, that goes back to what we were saying earlier about the dude who got out of prison, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where we both agreed that in his mind he didn't change, but everything else it was cool. Now the reason why I'm bringing that up is because could it be possible that the people who you want to keep reiterating that over and over again, ain't that the same equivalent to the dude who's locked up in prison where his mind was a change, but you know he just agreeing with it? Like where people,
these individuals in their mind, they haven't changed their how they feel about it.
Yeah, of course. That's the point that I'm making is that they're only conforming because you keep reiterating it. You know what I'm saying? But the moment when something happened, one more time, the moment when something happened, like case of point, y'all may getting a divorce or whatever, right? Lord forbids. But if that were to happen, guess what they're gonna do? I told you so. Yeah. I told you about that long distance relationship. Simply because that their mind didn't want to conform to that. You know what I'm saying? They were just agreeing to it. That's it. Just to make you feel good. So the reason why I'm giving you pushback on that, because that goes to what we were saying earlier. You could tell a person about how the way it is all day long until you turn blue in the face. At the end of the day, if they don't accept it, it is fine because you already did your job. You don't have to keep reiterating that. Say what you got to say. If they agree with it,
somebody screen record this.
Cool.
Somebody screen me to
a cool. Let it go.
You're absolutely right, Urban. You are absolutely right. And I think for the most part, I have been saying that. But it's me understanding who these individuals are and just keep on doing a repetition. That was me. That was my humanity.
Yeah. And I understood. Yeah, I understood the reason why you're doing. The reason why you're doing it is because we're human. We want to be socially accepted always. There's nothing wrong with that. But even within that, we have to create boundaries even within ourselves to let us know that, hey, I did the very best thing possible to explain the situation in the situation that I'm in right now. I'm not going to explain myself no more. Either you accept it or not, and just move on from it and let it go.
Just let it go. I don't necessarily think that I was trying to be socially acceptable. I wasn't, because I don't. If you embrace me, you do. If you don't, you embrace us, you don't. But I was trying to get them to understand, and that's a thing that I always fall into. I want you to understand what I'm saying. Even with this past situation that I was involved in, my whole thing was I want to get you to understand what I'm saying. But even when I was clear and articulate, they chose to go back into what they were familiar with. Talk, Urban. Hold on 1 second.
Yep, of course. Even like in my own situation, like I deal with y'all don't know. I deal with people all the time on my channel, man. Where people be coming in on my videos and stuff, right? And so I be having a conversation with some of these people, right? And the number one thing that they always do to me every single time, and it never fails, is that whenever they have pushback on certain things that I put on my videos or what I talk about, right, they always revert to the point to percent that I want you to understand me, not understanding that I get what they talk about. It is that I simply just don't agree with it. You know what I mean? Just because I don't agree with it, that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean I'm going to be disrespectful. That doesn't mean I look at you any differently or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It is that we just don't agree and you have to accept that. Now, me personally, I accept that reality, but it be other people who don't accept that reality. So they, next thing you know, they sit up here trying to debate me on this. I'm really not trying to debate you on this because this is something that's not debatable. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You say this, it's cool. It's cool. Nothing wrong with it. I just don't agree with it. It's cool. We could move on from this. You know what I mean? Unless we set up a show and we have the conversation, then that's totally different. You know what I'm saying? That's totally different.
Exactly.
But, yeah, so I deal with that all the time on my platform where people tell me. My favorite thing is this. I love when people want to get on there and tell me that, hey, you need to do your research, you know what I'm saying, because it's this and that and that. I like, bro, I'm the one who or a sister. I'm the one who put the video together. So I don't just put videos on there just to be doing it. I literally research stuff before I even put it up there. So I know exactly what it's talking about. Just in case if I have to explain myself.
I try not to come out here and speak on a topic that I'm not well versed in. You know what I'm saying? Or if I put something out here and I'm not, then I'm pulling it to get other ideas from other people. But it's very extremely frustrating when you're telling people stuff or you're offering advice for stuff that you are well versed in and that you have that you have the data for, or you've been through, and you just trying to help them and show them, and you getting all this pushback as if you don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, why did you reach out? Why did you call? Why did you ask? What, you know what I'm saying? Why? You know why? If you're not,
why did you comment? You know what I'm saying? Why did you comment? I'm not the one who commented. You did. You're the one who reaching out, not me. So when that's another thing that it deals with this weird psychosis with people, right? Is that they low key reach out to you for your advice or your opinion, your perspective, right? And you give it to them, and then they get mad about it, like, well,
because
that ain't
it's
what I
not
want to hear.
validating what's going on in their world. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's why I
agree.
Anytime you give any type of rationale that gives that puts a crack in their matrix, their delusion, they get extremely hostile. And they don't want to hear nothing that you got to say. And you're lying and you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? I can't believe you done all of this. And you're like, wait a minute. What I'm saying is sound. What I'm saying makes sense. What I'm saying is rational. But they don't want to hear it because they in their own delusion. They in their own matrix. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's why I really wanted to cover this topic, because I saw something this week and I'm like, I couldn't even believe that they gathered that from this, because it just doesn't fit. It just doesn't make sense. And then you go back and you understand there has to be some type of mental illness somewhere. And then I just sat back and I thought, I have dealt with these type of individuals for years and decades. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like childlike. You don't have the ability to rationale at all. And you don't want to. You don't even have a desire to. And that is why your life is the way it is now. You know?
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
It's the definition of insanity.
I agree. So the whole point about it, you know what I'm saying, is that trying to be socially accepted is a hell of a drug, for real. It really is. It really is. At one point in time, me and you probably had got caught up in it, you know what I mean? But it's a hell of a drug, you know what I'm saying? It's that whole adrenaline, the dopamines and everything like that, to have that sense of feeling that you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself. You know what I'm saying? Which I understand it. I get it. But we also have to come into the terms that not everybody's going to accept us. You know what I'm saying? That's where it boils down to. So I had to, me personally, I had to learn. I had to learn that people is not going to accept me. People is not going to open their arms up and hold me like, come on, brother, come on to the fold. No, that's not the reality. You know what I'm saying? The reality is that some is, some isn't. And I have to choose to accept that. That's where it boils down to. If I don't, then it's going to put me to that psychosis, what you're talking about, that insanity, you know?
It's so true. It's like if you do not agree to become part of or play a part in their world, then something got to be wrong with you, or something is wrong with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
And I've never been like that. I've always been on an island. I've always been able to have my own platform, my own ground, and stand on it. If we hook up and we find some type of familiarity, you know what I'm saying, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? If you agree with me today, hey, that's cool. But I gotta always be me. I gotta always be myself. You know what I'm saying? And I don't move in groups. I don't like you, you know. So you can't like him. And no, I don't get down like that, because it just don't make sense. Manta says self accountability is a scarce resource in today's society. I totally agree.
I agree. That's why I started off the year saying that 2025 is a year of accountability, and people thought I was playing about that, but I'm dead serious, because a lot of us need to be held accountable for the choices and decisions that we make in our everyday life. You know what I mean? Including myself. So when I made that declaration, that wasn't just for trolling or for entertainment, but that's a declaration to us and to me as well too. So I always hold myself accountable for the choices and decisions that I make. And I'm doing the same thing for everybody else too. Because I have that expectation that if people say that they care about me like they say they do, then if I do mess up, then y'all hold me accountable for it. Absolutely.
Hold me accountable, but don't walk away. Don't abandon me. Don't point your finger at me with the people who hate me or my enemy if you say you're my friend. And I got caught up on that for years. I used to get caught up on that. You know what I'm saying? I used to get caught up on betrayal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you say you're my friend. And I guess some of that is just me being who I am. But I can't believe you did this because you said you were my friend. Why are you not loyal to me? Why do you feel comfortable doing this to me? Why are you intentionally hurting me? I could never get over that. And I would carry so much pain over that. Until one day I just woke up and I'm just like, first of all, you being way too attached to these individuals, into this situation. You have to learn how to thrive without being so emotional and so attached. You cannot take things at face value. And it's not me being cold-hearted to individuals, but in today's society, loyalty is also a scarce resource too, as well. You know what I'm saying? And you got to learn to be okay if it's just you and God. And when I lost my best friend, that taught me a lesson that you, at the end of the day, and I know a lot of people may not believe in this, but the only thing that you really need is God, because things are not promised to you. People are maybe here one day and gone the next. You should not make these individuals your anchor. You know what I'm saying? And so it taught me to understand that, hey, if these people start flaking on you and acting weird, it's okay. It's okay, because obviously they don't value the friendship. They don't value, who you are to them, or they wouldn't be treating you this way. And it's okay. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. It's just that's how they responded. It's in you, and then you just move on. You know what I'm saying? You just move on.
Is it also safe to say that they don't value the friendship how the way you value it?
Yes. Mantis says facts. Absolutely. I am extreme when I say, and it could be a bad thing. I don't know, but I am extremely loyal. That's why in my later years, as I get older, I am very careful who is around me now. Hold on. Talk. This is my sister. Hold on.
What if it's miscommunication though? That is a good question. See, if it is indeed miscommunication and y'all were talking about that, right? That shouldn't affect the friendship at all. Period. You know what I mean? Because it happens. We sometimes we'll say things based on our feelings and emotion, and it was already in us. And that particular situation that's made it manifest itself, right? And so deep down inside, you meant what you said, but you also didn't want to hurt that person feeling, if that make any sense. You know what I mean? So if that situation happened, like miscommunication there, by all means, it's up to y'all to come together and simply have the conversation to talk about it. Talk about how the way you feel. Talk about, what was the miscommunication about. And the big part about it is using emotional intelligence and effective communication to resolve the problem or resolve the issue.
Okay, you said a powerful word right there, effective communication. That's the whole key. You got to have that, or I'm not having no more conversations. I've been in those situations where I have been going back and forth trying to get in and say, wait, that's not what it was. I'm trying to tell you what it was, and they don't want to hear that because, again, they don't want to hear that rationale. They want it to go left. They want the conflict. They want the argument. They want to overtalk you. They want all of that stuff. So yeah, what if miscommunication is the problem though? So at that point, I was just in a situation like that where I'm telling you what it really was, and I'm conveying to you what it really was, but you ain't want to hear it. So you went left. You started going left. So you know what I did, which was a mature thing for me, because normally I would just keep on talking. I shut up. Because now what I'm giving you is I'm deploying energy to you. You are draining me. I'm giving you my energy and you ain't receiving it. You ain't pouring it back into me. So you take it from me instead of giving to me. Communication should be like a ball toss. I'll throw the ball and you give it back to me. You wasn't giving the ball back to me. So I had to shut down. I'm like, okay, you right. And then I consciously made in my mind, I'm not gonna be here no more for this. I'm not doing this no more because it was too draining. And then after you done got fed up, it's like, forget it. I'm over. I'm done. Because I'm never putting myself back in that type of situation where I got to argue back and forth with another adult. That's never going to happen because we should be able to communicate, right? So for me, that miscommunication, you may have some individuals where you can problem solve with them, where you can, talk it out and get to some type of, understanding. But if it's like, if they're not receiving it, because why? They have a strong delusion. They ain't living in a strong, I'm not going to sit up there and exhaust myself with you.
Mm-hmm. Or it could be a very deeper issue with them. And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier about the value thing. They value you differently from how the way you see value in them. You may see value in them, for us like friendship, relationships, and different things like that, which that goes into terming you being loyal. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they see it as a bad opportunity, or being an opportunist in a bad way, where they solely try to get something out of you. They become a friend with you, or pretend or cosplay to be a friend with you, right? Mm-hmm. Just so they could get information or they could get anything that they could benefit out of you. People call it being a what was the name? Oh, energy vampire. People call it being an energy vampire, where they literally sucking on your life force, but they sucking out your ideals, your ambition, everything, so they can acquire it to their own. Then once when they done with you, then I have seen people literally self-sabotage alleged friendship just to get out of it, just so they could say that it was your fault that this friendship ended, just so they could leave. You know what I mean? But it was always them.
You're absolutely right. And another key point that I want to bring out for individuals who live in strong delusions, sometimes they make themselves the architect of everything in everybody's life. You know what I'm saying? I did this. I did this for you. I did this. I did this. Or they always want you to give them that affirmation of what they've done and how good they are and how excellent they are, because this is what is playing over and over in their mind, in their world. And so they want you to play the part. They want you to do that for them too as well. And when you don't do that, conflict arises too as well. You know what I'm saying? They have to take the credit for what's good going in your life, but never is accountable for what's going bad in their life. You know what I'm saying? They want to be the architect of everything good, but they can't seem to be the architect of everything good in their life because nothing is really going on. You understand what I'm saying? And so it's a facade that they really are living. You got these people, you in their company, and everything has to be about them. The whole conversation got to be surrounding them, because that is what they need, because they're living in a strong delusion.
I agree.
It's draining.
I agree.
It's draining. So, guys, listen, we all have these individuals in our life. You know what I'm saying? We all have these individuals in our life. It's just about how long you want to engage in these type of relationships. It's about how long you want to deal with this type of behavior. And this year has been eye-waking, and then my life has changed. It don't look the same anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I just made a conscious decision that I'm not going to be living in two worlds. I'm not going to be living in your world and living in my world. You know what I'm saying? So I admonish individuals to take a little time to take care of your own mental wellness and your own state of mind. And it's okay if you have to put distance with these individuals, or if you have to you may do one more Hail Mary to try to reach them and say, hey, don't you want to live a better way? Don't you want to be this way? Or, hey, let's not go this route. Don't do this. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you want to do one more time, then do it. But don't let these people issues and problems become your problems and you adapt to them. Don't be in a situation where you're always problem solving for these individuals too, and they never have to figure life out, and they never have to figure things out, because it's just not fair. It's just not fair when you always the go-to person for everything in their life. Like, that's just not fair. It's just not fair. And then when you're not that resource no more, then you trash. You know what I'm saying? So just think about the choices that you make, and think about the people that's around you, think about the relationship that you have, and just and go on a list and check it off. I'm not doing that. I'm not having that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that no more. And go ahead and be happy. You only get one. You only get one life, right? You only get one life to live. You know what I'm saying? And so I've been cleaning house.
Mm-hmm.
I've been cleaning house and understanding what's valuable and what's not. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I've been taking a breath of fresh air because I have spent years of understanding that these individuals are predictable, that this is going to happen. And I've just been the bearer of their weight for years and just accounted it as this is just how they are. And because I
Yep.
love them, I'm just going to deal with it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
that's crazy work that you was literally being a hoarder for people, man. But
Mm-hmm.
I understand it because at one point in time I was like that. I was being a hoarder for people, sitting up here carrying all their burdens, all their trash, all their work. They made me be a public storage for them. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And so whenever they decide they want to take a piece of their item out, then they come to me for it. All right, I'm gonna pull this out, and then they're
Right.
gonna put it back in, and I'm still dealing with it. You know what I mean? So
And you just trying to say, why won't you live better?
yeah,
Why
once you
won't you
just live
live
better,
better?
or simply the store away the things that you don't need. Period. If you
You
don't need
don't
it,
need
just
that
get rid of
depression.
it.
You don't need that
Just get rid
depression.
of it.
You don't need to live that lifestyle. It's not working for you. You don't
Yeah, because
need it. But you
yeah,
don't they don't want to hear that. They
yeah.
don't want to hear
So
it.
we don't want to hold on to it. Why we need it for? We trying to be happy. Why we need to hold
Mm-hmm.
on to it? Just throw it away. Let it go. Stop making us be a hoarder for you.
And
You know what
that's
I mean?
exactly what I am. And it feels, and initially it felt, I almost wanted to run back and reverse everything I've done. But I'm like, no, because this is what I need. This is good for me. I've grown, I've matured. This is good for me. And understanding and knowing for a fact that I'm not the villain, understanding that you ain't did nothing wrong, that these people are gonna be okay. You understand what I'm saying? They still thrive and they
Mm-hmm.
still living, and you are, and you need to be doing that too.
Yep, facts. And another thing that you got to add on to that is not only they're going to be okay, let's say in a worst case scenario, something were to happen to them, guess what? You have to accept that reality that it's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. And then you be able to sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you
Mm-hmm.
become emotionally attached to these individuals, or emotionally the first aid kit, or you the CPR for these people, your mindset is that I got to be there. You know what I'm saying? I got to be there. Because what if I'm not there? And they got you trained thinking that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Groomed. Yep.
Groomed. Absolutely urban. Groomed. I got to be there. You know what I'm saying? I got to pick up the phone for them. I got to. What if I don't? And these people are just fine. They got 5 more people lined up that do the same thing that you do. Because when they
Mm-hmm.
done talking
Yep.
to you, they still need that validation. They still need that talking off the bridge, and they gonna go call that person. They gonna call you at 1 o'clock. They gonna call the other person at 2 o'clock, and they gonna call the person at 3 o'clock. They got these people lined up to validate
Mm-hmm.
them and give them affirmation all day long. You ain't really unique and special to them.
Mm-mm.
And you find that out when you break the hold, the tie. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yeah,
They
sever that
replace
soul tie.
you.
Yep.
They replace you in a nanosecond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all you are is 140,000 to them.
Come
Out,
on.
out of a million, if they have that
Come
many.
on. And it's like, wow, you ain't significant. You ain't special. The same thing that they gonna do to some part, they gonna do it to you on a grander scale. It's you that's gonna be somewhere balled up, affected by it. But I chose, oh no, we're not doing that because I
Mm-hmm.
see what it is. You understand what I'm saying? And I just decided, okay, I'm not gonna do it no more. You say if you don't pick up the phone, you might get cussed out. Come on, Squirt. Come on, Squirt. You don't love me. Or they don't talk to
I,
you for 2 weeks.
I
They
actually put
mad.
out a short on talking about that, by the way. Something similar to what Scorpio was talking about.
Mm-hmm. Because why? They feel like you are indebted to them, that you belong, just waiting idle for them. Right? This is the world that people live in. I'm telling you, people literally live like this, where they got people all around them taking care of them emotionally and mentally. And if you ain't in place, then you the issue.
Yep.
And if you do something for them,
Agreed.
you get the biggest praise ever. But if you don't, watch out. Watch out.
You're the biggest devil.
And you got to compromise yourself and your morals for them, but they ain't never compromising for you. That's not a
So here,
that's not true friendship. That's not a healthy
mm-mm,
relationship. Whatever the situation is, just generally speaking, you understand what I'm saying? People who don't compromise for you or don't sacrifice for you, that's not no healthy. It's supposed to be a give and take.
yeah, I agree. Reciprocal. So, I have did that to a lot of people in my life, family and friends, because I learned that that's what they was doing to me. They was making me be a hoarder, and so the moment when I started dealing with situations in my life, guess what? There wasn't nowhere to be found, or that was giving me horrible advice to make me be in an even worse situation. I'm thinking that they have the best interest in heart for me, but
Wow.
not at all. So when I learned that, right, when I went through my whole process of resetting myself and reinventing myself, that's when I started learning the truth about it. I like, damn, the reason why I'm this way, first of all, is because of the choices, decision I made, and I started holding myself accountable at that. Then afterwards, I like, damn, it's the people who I was around too.
It's
The
the
people I was around was they made it even worse. You know what I'm saying? So I had to cut them out. Like, nah.
Oftentimes, you are a reflection of your environment. Oftentimes,
Yeah, part of the
Lord
environment. True.
intervenes, unless the Lord intervenes. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And
Yeah,
it's
that
just
old Sam.
like eye opening. It's eye opening. It's eye
Mm-hmm.
opening.
That old saying, "Birds of feather." That could be true in situations for real.
They flock together because
Mm-hmm.
people that live in delusions, they want like-minded people around them. And they want people that's going to say yes to everything that they're saying. You're right. You're right. You're right. I want people that's going to say, nah, you ain't hit the mark right there. Because I want to grow. I want to develop and I want to mature. And I want you to tell me the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing worse than being out here wrong and you just done left where everybody told you you right and you step out here but you wrong. That's like the biggest failure. You know what I'm saying? But it kind of falls on you because you have to be able to make sound decisions and be accountable. Here's that word again, accountable for yourself, and just know common sense. How you doing? Hey, oh my God, this is my sister, guys. You guys show some love to her. I love you. I love you so much. At some point, you have to have accountability. And people who live in delusions like this, they strategically put people around them who they know um, will maintain their facade, will facilitate their foolishness, will condone everything that they say. They'll say yes to them. They'll give them praise all of the time. You understand what I'm saying? And these are the people that they want and they can't challenge them intellectually or won't challenge them intellectually, because they have to be the ruler and they have to be the architect of everything. You know what I'm saying? So they
Mm-hmm.
strategic who is around them. And it baffles you come around and making some type of sense, and they're gonna turn everybody against you.
Yep.
And I've
Even even
experienced that.
even when that situation happened, that's where the emotional intelligence parts kick in, where you understand what's going on, you understand the environment that's happening around you, and you being able to navigate effectively to to fix that situation to the best of your ability. Once again, it's playing chess and not checkers. You know what I mean?
And so when that type of behavior starts to happen, it turns a light on and say, you know what, these people ain't mental after all. Because if you can navigate and do all of that manipulation and all that deception, then you know exactly what you're doing, and you just want to be there. You want to be that type of person. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You want to be that type of person. You want to be that type of person, and you don't want to change. You don't want to change. And so now you have to consciously make a decision. Do you want to be attached to something like that? Do you want to play the game? Do you want to be a character in their world? And and at this point, I don't. You understand what I'm saying? You should not. You know, you should not, because I'm just like, it's not good living. It's like low life living. You know what I'm saying? It's not good. It's not good living. You said when I don't agree, I'm the problem. Yeah, you become the problem. You become the obstacle when you don't agree. You know, whatever behavior that they're exhibiting, or whatever they've said, or whatever they've done, or whatever choices they've made in their life. You know, someone, you just go think about someone who consciously quit a job after 6 months, and they always got to go crash in somebody's house. You doing that to yourself over and over again, you know, or somebody who never learned how to read or write. So you ain't really working no job. You get paid under the table, but when you get 60 years old, you blame the society because you don't have a retirement or social security. Well, you never paid taxes. These are the decisions that you've made within your life, but now society and everybody else got to be the problem. No, it's you. Is you. You are the source of your pain. You are the source of what things that, you know, that because you can only, I don't let my trauma define who I am. I tell y'all all the time, I can tell y'all some things that everybody on here be crying. You know what I'm saying? I should be somewhere strung out somewhere. But I chose that I was not going to be a product of my trauma, and I did not want history to repeat itself. You understand what I'm saying? And I made a conscious decision that I'm going to work hard. I'm going to get my education. I'm going to do what I can do. I'm going to live the best life I can for the Lord, because I want a better way of living. And that's just it for me. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm able to do these things or be a certain way, or I chose that I want to be articulate. You know what I'm saying? I want to be educated. I can't help it if that's not what you chose. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm not going to be the problem. I'm not going to be a problem for you. I've had so many people so many times over my life that, oh, she thinks she's better than somebody else. No, I'm the most humblest person you will ever meet. But because I choose to be a certain way, or my demeanor is a certain way, or I speak a certain way, has nothing to, you can be that way too. But everybody has choices in life. That goes back to what you said. I treat people as God do, give you your free will. Right?
Well, the only part about that is now this is my perspective on this side. Not saying it's correct or whatever, but this is how the way I think. I have learned that in certain situations that I'm better than people. And it's nothing wrong with that.
I know you ain't saying that,
I'm being dead serious about it. I'm being dead serious. It's certain situations I'm better than people. Just like there's certain situations where people are better than me. But guess what? I accept that reality. I accept that I'm better than people in certain situations. No, I'm better than people in certain situations, just like people are better than me in certain situations. Like, for example, a person who's an athlete, right, who play football or basketball or whatever, right, they're better than me at that. I don't know how to do that. It could be due to knowledge, but the other part about it is that I just don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Hence, that makes me not good at it. You know what I mean? There are people who are literally scholars, who are mathematicians, who know how to solve an algebraic equation and stuff to the best of their ability. Guess what? They're good at that. They're really good at that. I'm not good at that, but they are. But likewise, there are certain things and certain skills that I know I'm good at. I know I'm up there top tier. You know what I mean? And that makes me hence better than certain people. But let me add this last part to it. The final part to it is this. even though I am consciously aware of that I'm better than people in certain situations, at the end of the day, I'm still am a humble person for real. I really am.
Mm-hmm.
I don't belittle people. I don't talk down on people. I don't make people feel inferior to make myself feel superior just because I'm better than them. You know what I mean? Because I know how that feels when a person is better than me in a certain situation and they try to do that to me. I know how that feels. That feels degrading. That feels demoralizing and everything. You know what I mean? So I don't treat people like that. You know what I mean? Now I know I go on social media and I'll be sitting up here messing with y'all, tell y'all that I'm good at this, I'm good at that. I know this, I know that. I literally be playing with y'all on that. But reality, I honestly is really humble, you know what I mean, with it. I don't treat people, I don't belittle people, I don't put them down. That's because I know I'm better than them. You know what I mean? So
now,
that's all I'm saying with that. That's all I'm saying with that.
Swerve said
but
he could be right.
Besides, yeah, like I told y'all the other day, I like 95% of the time, depending on what we're talking about, I'm right. I'm literally right, because the reason why is because I take time to study this. I'm really good at what I do, and I take time to practice. I take time to study it, and I take time to master it. This is no different for like case in point in your situation, right? You got different degrees and stuff, right? You have different degrees, so therefore you automatically is certified for whatever type of degree that you have, correct? Mm-hmm. Now that's because you had that degree. Like you stated earlier, you don't put people down, but you do let people know that you are certified, right? Hence, you'll sit up and say, yeah, I got a bachelor's degree, I got a master's degree, and such and such and such. You let people know. That doesn't mean you're arrogant or anything like that, but you let them know your credentials, that you are skilled in it.
Listen, so it's because you acquired the knowledge. If these same individuals go and acquire the knowledge, then they are just as good as I am. You know what I'm saying?
So, but that's the thing that real quick. That's the thing about it. That's the thing about it is that some people don't want to do it because they simply not interested in it. Okay, that's one thing. So due to them automatically disqualifying themselves because they're simply not interested in it, therefore that means that you're better than them at it. It is reality. Like even at work, right? Even when you be at work, right? There's a reason why there's a hierarchy, right? Even at work, you have a CEO, you have a supervisor, you have a manager, then you have the regular workers. There's a reason for that, because these people are more skilled and better than you in that certain level where you at. And there's nothing wrong with that. But however, social norms be teaching us that when you say things like that, that is wrong. It's not necessarily wrong, but it is contingent on what you do as an individual. If you sit up here treating people bad about it, you sit up here manipulating people, you sit up here doing this negative thing, that yeah, it's wrong. But if you're being humble with it, it's nothing wrong with it at all, period.
Okay, well,
I say live with your truth.
I'm disagreeing. I'm disagreeing.
Oh, go ahead.
Fatima said that this is clear for people who are talented or better skilled. But the problem is when we meet people like us, they think they are better than us. They think they are better than us or better have better traits, or treat us really bad. They treat us really bad.
Of course, and I agree with that. I agree with that. That goes with them sitting up here being all manipulative. They sit up here have this stank attitude that I'm better than you and you're lower than me, I'm superior and you're inferior, you know what I'm saying, the superiority complex. Then yeah, I agree with that. But if you're humble with it, then that's totally different. That's totally different. There's nothing wrong with you acknowledging that.
I promise you that's how I've been. Now I will get in my queen mode and I want to say, I this and all that and all that stuff. But most of the time I'm saying that sometimes I use it as a defense mechanism when I have been pushed to the brink. But I'm learning that you don't have to do that. What I'm learning is that people already know your energy before you even get there. Before you even get into that mode of that, they already know the weight that you bring, and that's why they're coming at you. That's why they are attacking you, because they feel like they got to bring you down a notch, because something in them is infuriated, or something in them is intimidated by what's inside of you. Even though y'all could be cool, that still got that running thing inside of them that, she thinks she better than. You know what I'm saying? And it's not.
It could be insecurity, like you stated
Mm-hmm.
earlier. Well, all they got to do is simply attain the knowledge. But that's why I also made a point to you that some people, they don't want to attain that knowledge because they're
Mm-hmm.
just simply not interested in it. So hence, by default, you're literally better than them. You know what I'm saying? In this particular skill or situation that you know about. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So
I
that is not your fault. That is their fault.
Yeah.
It don't have nothing to do with you. That's their fault that they're in that space, not you.
Scorpio
But
mama
once
said,
again, as long as you stay in that humble part, you good.
yeah, be humble with
Now
it.
Scorpio know that 95% of the time I'll be right, depending on what we're
No.
talking about.
No. And I'm gonna go back. There was a video, y'all, that I finally got Urban, y'all. I finally got him. And I should have just went on and screen recorded that night, but I forgot it, so I done lost track of which video it was. But I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna go back into history and I'm gonna find it. But yeah, these are people who are narcissistic and they live in a facade. They are never wrong. They always gonna be the smartest person in the room. You know, they gonna always have an answer for you, whether you got the right answer. It don't matter if you get them the answer that they ask, they're gonna attach something to it because it just simply wasn't the right answer. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just like they can ask you a question, you get them the right answer, they're gonna correct it even if it's right because they have to be
Yeah.
right all of the time, and that's so frustrating. It's like you and they used to burn me up because I would go find proof to support my stuff and I would send it to them, and they ain't trying to see that. They don't care because they done made it up. They done
they
made
don't.
it up. You know what I'm saying? They done just made it up. You know, and it's just like, oh wow, you know, this is how you are. It's very frustrating.
But bye. Great conversation. I'm gonna have to hop on now.
Yeah, I'm
Appreciate
getting
you
ready to
inviting
get
me
off
like
to it because
always.
I got 2 phone calls to return. Yeah. So thank you, Urban. I appreciate it. And y'all go support his channel. Scorp, if you can grab his link to his channel or put it in here, Urban. Y'all go subscribe. This is my big brother. He has most definitely put eyes on me and have just elevated my channel. Guys, so please support Urban. He has wonderful content. A lot of times we disagree, especially when we first came around each other. It was a whole bunch of disagreeable moments, but I do value him and I do see the intellectual genius that he is. So please go and support his channel, okay, guys? All right. All right, Urban, thanks
Hey,
again.
I appreciate y'all. When those of y'all who are tuning in, my channel, it is not for the faint of heart, and I'm just being real with y'all, because we really be having thought provoking conversations over there for real. So it's going to challenge your worldview for real. I'm just saying. But hey, bye bye. Then appreciate you. Keep up the good work. Tell hubby I said what's up.
I will. Thank you so much. And tell Mrs. Urban I said hello.
I will. Matter of fact, this is her coming in right now. That's why I'm finna get
off. That's why you getting off. Okay, you better have. All right, bye.
Yeah. She just got for work. I'm not want to hear about a day and stuff. So
okay, bye. See, I told y'all Urban is a softie. She's talking about he want to hear about her date. He's a softie. It is Mrs. Urban who runs the show, people. I told y'all this the whole time. But anyway, guys, I want to say thank you so much for joining this conversation. If you liked it, like, share, subscribe, support the channel, $CLAYLING. And just know that this content is for you all. And it is covered under the 107 Copyright Act. This is just for general conversation, nothing specific, nothing personal, guys. Please get over yourselves. Okay. All right. I want to try to come back out here later on this week. I got some a little bit of homework to do before Friday, so I probably will be doing that tomorrow. So maybe Friday evening we'll be doing some more thought-provoking conversation. All right, do something nice for somebody. If it's nothing but give them a nice smile. A silent prayer. You know what I'm saying? Or open a car door for them. Because guess what? You read what you sow and it comes back to you. All right. This is your Queen Clayleen saying be great. Bye-bye and good night.